evening, all my gearheads out there. Natra here, gearheads and guardians tonight. I'm going to do it a little bit solo. Rocco had some stuff going on, so he's kind of handling family time. Got some stuff he's got that he needs to handle. So you got me tonight. We're going to talk about a few things, a little bit of a few updates on what we got going on, American Legion stuff that we got going on. But as you can tell, one of the things Rocco wanted to talk about tonight was the lineup change for Glock, and then we have a tech tip tonight for everybody that I stumbled across upon this Conceal Carry Magnum mount that's really awesome, and so we're going to talk about mounts and some things like that. A little bit of racing update. We're going to talk about some Zilis stuff. So let's get this thing started. So real quick. It's a great time to be in our country, okay? And I don't want to get political, and I don't want to get into that conversation, right? But I will say this is a great time to be an American. Daytona 500 was Sunday, and as always, the Daytona 500 is a crazy race, right? And I knew it's almost like when you watch Daytona 500. And it gets down to the last few laps, everybody's going to be pushing and shoving, and you know you're going to have the big one. And we had two or three big ones, right? So exciting time. President Trump was there. It was kind of cool to see the beast out on the track with with everybody. So a great weekend for racing. So we're going to jump right into our topics that we used to do, conceal carry stuff, USCCA, teaching about things that the USCCA puts out, talking about things that the USCCA put out in their monthly, that gives lessons and all the training that they give and stories to back every one of them up. So if you're not a USCCA member, please go on, become a USCCA member. And remember that they're there for you. I'm a USCCA member. Rocco's a USCCA member. They're such a great organization to help with any questions that you have, or if you find yourself in a situation, right? So we're going to talk about Glock tonight. Not a lot, but enough to make people think about going to a different concealed carry. And the reason why I say that is that there was an article that Glock has stopped making the 308, right? 308 is a very small round. It's a little bit smaller than a 9mm. And while it's a great concealed carry weapon, we have to think about productivity. We have to think about the business, right? So apparently, Glock was not selling a lot of the 308s. I mean, a 9mm is a 9mm, right? It's not an odd caliber. It's mass produced. Any 9mm round will go through a Glock or any weapon. So for ammunition wise, it's probably the more feasible choice, especially when you can get that in multiple sizes of a weapon. You can get a small, right? Like a Glock 43. It's a very small, compact for your purse, or for the ladies, or for even the men that want to carry it and really hide something, and just have as much of a deterrent, even though it is a lethal round. Everyone is, but there's not going to be a whole bunch of damage and a whole lot of collateral. So you get into the why question: would you have as many odd sizes as the 308? So the Glock has decided to stop making the 308. So if you have a 308, I mean, I'm pretty sure they're still going to keep making rounds for it, because there are other 308s out there, but the Glock has stopped producing that. So big change in the lineup. Now I carry a Glock 20. My girlfriend carries a Glock 43. Now I carry a Glock 20 because of the size of my hand. Number two, I carry it because my mentality of a Glock 20, which is a 10mm, compared to, i.e., a 9mm or a 308. I just, one, size; two, I want as much damage as possible, right? I'm I might not have a lot of time. I've got a laser on mine. I don't have optics yet, but I'm going to optic. But you might have a lot of time to get your shot in right. So I much rather have something that when it hits you, no matter where it hits you, it's going to be a knockdown. Unlike the 9 mil, whatever 9 mil, you kind of got to be on point if you want to do any lethal stuff. But as long as you graze someone or you can get them to, at least get away. But a 308 is a little bit smaller because it's not much bigger than a 22. It's in between the 22 and the 9 mil. Rocco knows more about the actual specifics of it, but that's how I take that as Glock just saying we're not making enough. We're not selling enough of them. We're not going to make any more. The demand is not there. They got different rounds and different calibers that are more abundant and more used for concealed carry or what have you not. So that's the big update from Glock. No more 308. Not a bad little concealed carry, but they just said they weren't making enough of it. So moving forward with that, let's talk a little bit about concealed carry. It's been a while since we've actually talked in that sense of concealed carry and rounds. I've been doing a lot of research, and I say do a lot of research. I get newsletters in my email from USCCA and what have you not. And I travel. We travel to New Mexico and back a lot, and we found out that New Mexico has recently passed, and I say recently, it could be months, maybe last year, but just recently, they are one of a few states that have opened up to allow your concealed carry from one state carry over to the state of New Mexico. So that's pretty cool. I mean, you still got to know their gun laws, right? But it looks to me that a lot of states are finally getting on board. And I'm going to say Texas because I live here, right? I like the way Texas gun law is. I like the way Texas gun law works. I haven't heard of a lot of issues with the open carry where people that are not allowed or shouldn't be carrying them are carrying them. But we are finding out that you don't have a lot of. There's just all the hoopla. If we go back in time, when Texas was one of the first, if not the first, don't quote me on this, as time, but we were one of the first states that allowed the open carry. As long as you were allowed to own a weapon, no felonies, um, no nothing barring you from owning a weapon. Right? Obviously, it's going to be a law thing, but you can have an open carry, right? But it had to be open carry. You can't conceal an open carry. So what did that really do, right? Well, you have a lot of people that just want the security of knowing that they have something there readily available, that they don't need to tuck it in and carry it wherever they go, right? But you have it in a car, right? You have it in the car. If you have a holster, it's there. You don't need a license for it. Haven't had any really big issues. I haven't heard of any big issues. I don't watch a ton of news, but from what I understand and what I've seen, there's just no there's no abundant issues and crimes going on with weapons of the open carry. So I think the whole hoopla was kind of blown up. But I will always and just like Rocco and I talk all the time about, I will always advocate for getting a concealed carry. And the reason is because any Joe Schmo, right, that is not big into weapons, but was like, I kind of want my security of it, so I'm just going to go buy one, right? So they go buy a weapon, and they don't really learn how to use it. They don't really learn the laws, except for what laws pertain to open carry. But there's a lot of people that don't want to put the time into doing it right. There's a lot of people that do, like myself, like Rocco, and a lot of other concealed carries that actually take the time to learn about your laws and what have you not, because you can find yourself in a whole lot of trouble. Even though you do have a license and a carry, you can find yourself in a huckabuck real quick if you respond to a situation with your concealed carry or with your weapon and it's not proper, right? You don't do the proper stuff, right? So I would still get your concealed carry. Go to the class, right? Go to the class, get the training, learn how to shoot it, and um uh don't be on the losing end of a bad situation. Okay? It's not worth it. Defend yourself always, right? But just like we teach in jujitsu, and just like as law enforcement, when I went to the police academy, it was one of the biggest things that we learn is you only use the amount of force necessary to contain the situation, or you only respond with the force being used, right? Obviously, if they pull a gun, you do what you got to do. If they pull a knife, you can. If you don't have anything and your life is in danger, then you pull your weapon. But you always try. The one thing I love about jujitsu and being trained and a concealed carry is that you learn other ways to diffuse a situation, even if you do have to get physical without pulling your weapon out, right? If someone pulls a knife, like we have talked about before, and I have my conceal on me, even though you can see it because it's too big to conceal, you just can't conceal a weapon that large very easily. I'm still going to use my hands because I trained in how to defend myself against weapons that doesn't have a projectile coming at me, right? Because it's almost impossible to unless you're running and make it hard for them to hit you, right? It's kind of almost impossible to pull a gun out and not think that they're going to pull the trigger. So that's a different route. But what I'm trying to get at is, um, as we talk about weapons and stuff, we will always talk about get your concealed carry. It's not a lot. It's a one-time fee. Yes, it's like a driver's license every year or 3 years or whatever it is. And, you spend the $45 to get it, redone. And then you get your USCCA. If you're a concealed carry person, and we said this before, I'm going to say it again. If you're a concealed carry person, become a USCCA member. You don't have to be a platinum member, but just be the basic member. Have that protection behind you. Okay? Have that. Oh, I don't know if I did right or not. Mistakes happen. We're all human, right? We're all human. It's in the dark. You're out there in the dark and you see what may be a weapon. You pull yours and you felt your life was in danger and you put this person down and come to find out they only had like a golf club that was shining off light or something like that, right? What do you do? Well, you have to answer some questions. But that's what they're there for, is to go, okay, the judgment was this, the nighttime was this, and blah, blah, blah. But go ahead and get that. So concealed carry, open carry, no matter what, USCCA, please get yourself covered. And take time. If you do have your concealed carry, take time before you go into every building. I do it. What markers are up on the window? Do they have a 37? Do they have 7? Do they have a 6? Do they have a 5? Do they have none? Is it presumed that if they don't have anything listed on the windows of what you can and cannot do, that you can, or that you can't, right? So that's one of the things also with this that we're going to talk a lot more about this coming year is training on understanding what each of the markers is. Only people only people that have a concealed carry can bring a weapon into this place. Only if you don't have a concealed carry, or if you do have a concealed carry, weapons are not allowed to premises. The 51% ban, where if you make 51% more of your money off alcohol, you can't carry a weapon there, right? There's so many signs with that you can go in like a 6. You can go, or yeah, a 6. You go in, and you can wear it concealed. It has to be concealed. It can't be open, right? So it's just things like that that you have to learn and be proficient on. That way, you don't get yourself in trouble. So we're going to talk a lot about that in the upcoming year. So first, I want to say hello to Ariel and Mike for joining me tonight. Sorry, Rocco's not here, but he'll be back next week as we move into the 2025. So, I'm gonna jump to um, what's going what's going on in this world just a little bit. What's going on in the United States, because I think it's important um, that we all kind of get some understanding on some things about um, how this nation is going, right? And then again, my political affiliation is American. Okay, I did vote, but my political affiliation is American. I think it's important that we all take a step back and we all look at what our lives are about, what we can control in our lives, not what everybody else can control, right? There's only a certain amount of things that's going to affect us when it comes to the government. It really is. And one of the things is gun laws. That's state driven, right? So be proud, be vigilant, um, be you, and don't let all this nonsense that you're hearing, even though it is relevant, don't let the nonsense that you can't control and has no bearing on your life, don't let it take your focus off you, your family, and what have you not, right? But it is a great time to be uh, in America. It's a great time for this country. There's a lot of good things that's coming up, regardless of what you think about who's in charge or who's not. Um, we always find a positive in all the negative, and we always find a negative in all the positive. It's just the way we operate, right? So there's not much that we can do about that. It's just we have to worry about what we focus on. So with that being said, I want to jump to some American Legion stuff that we got going on, right? Um, One of the beautiful things that I love about being part of the American Legion, and I really wish that I would have known before or years ago when I first got out, was all the good stuff that the American Legion does, right? Who it does it with. Veterans. It's nothing but veterans. The American Legion is the largest veteran organization out there. So let's just be quite clear on that, right? And the more stuff that I do with our local post and the more stuff that I do with the riders and we go out and do this, the more it just makes me so proud to be able to give back to the less fortunate veterans that are out there. It makes me feel very fortunate that I've survived the way I've survived and that I have what I have. Okay. So the American Legion, Post 245 out of Seguin, Texas, has a lot of things coming up, right? And we got the Nut Run coming up. We have the Legacy Run coming up. These are rider events. We have uh, every year we do a 9/11 ride. Let me tell you about that. That is so cool, right? That's in September. 9/11 ride. We go and give dinners to all the first responders in the Seguin area. We go out and hand out dinners to them. It's a really, really cool event. The bikes, we actually uh, escort the food to all the first responders, the ambulances and the police and the sheriff and what have you not. So that's really cool. But the coolest thing coming up, we talked about it on the last podcast, kind of hitting on it. But one of the coolest things we got coming up is Vietnam Wall is coming through. It's a game petition to have it come through, where they've raised the money to bring the wall through, and the Legion riders are going to escort it from New Braunfels when it comes in and take it down to Seguin to I believe the Expo Center. Don't quote me on that, but it'll be downtown. So I'm really looking forward to it. It's really, really fun. And escorting it, and I'm going to say this, if you're a veteran out there and you hear this later on down the line, and you have a Harley or an Indian or a Vulcan or any kind of motorcycle, get involved with your riders that are part of your Legion. If you don't have a riders organization with your Legion, and you have a bike, think about starting one up, because it's really amazing how the bikes bring eye candy to what we do, and we get requests. It's like the slingshots, right? We get, all the time. I haven't been out in a while. I feel bad for all my slingshot family out there because we've just been so busy. But the slingshots bring eye candy, and it's really cool, the camaraderie that we have as riders, and what we do, and we go on long rides and what have you, not raise money for our veterans. It's such a great organization. I'm having a blast doing it. But if you're a veteran out there and you have an American Legion post there, go see what it's all about, right? Go and have a conversation with the American Legion and see what they do, how it operates. Check. Go hang out for a little bit. But if you're a veteran, I really think you should get involved. I wish I would have a long time ago, and I'm glad Rocco introduced me to Post 245. Great people, great organization, and I'm looking forward to many more years of good veteran stuff. So, with that, let's talk a little bit about Relief for Troops, our charity organization. We had a handout at Cars and Coffee last month, and it was a great time. We did a podcast. I didn't make this last one, but we're going to make the next one. And Relief for Troops. If you're a veteran out there, okay, and you have a lot going on. The squash up here is just really full, if you will. Don't be afraid to reach out, first of all. Okay, there's avenues upon avenues upon avenues of help. But Relief for Troops, we do it kind of different here, right? We do things just a little bit different. It's kind of unorthodox how we use Zilis and CBD as what we do as a charity. But I will tell you that sometimes and it's not even about making money. Sometimes it costs to take care of our people without all the stuff, without all the crap that you get from the doctors, right? Relief for Troops is here to help. We are here to help you with anything that you have that's going on, whether it's advice, whether it's where to go to get help. What if, what about how to get something done in the VA system, right? We talk about all the time. Mike, what's going on, buddy? Glad that you showed up. It's just you and me. And I think that the important part about what we do is the ability to give back in a way that is more productive than just a function, right? More productive than just, hey, come on out. We'll while dinners and everything is nice, and we do dinners, we do barbecues, stuff like that, but we really want to help someone's health, and we do it based off what I did, right? And what's worked for me and what's worked for other veterans. And I think it's important that we take it, and for the next year, 2025 and forward, right? Sit back and reevaluate and assess what your body's going through, what you're going through, right? And how we can help make you better. Mike's a perfect example. He's been a loyal listener since we started this a year and so ago, and I couldn't be more appreciative of that. We have a lot of people that sit back and replay. We got 62 subscribers, yeah, you know what, Mike? We are going. In fact, we're going to get you on. We'll set that up. We'll and we'll get Rocco. We'll get you your email and stuff like that, and we'll get a link to you, and we'll get you guys linked up. Or you want to join in tonight? Well, while he responds, but anyway, Mike's a perfect example, right? He reached out to us when he was listening to us one night, and he says, "Hey, man, I really like, I'd like to try that stuff. This is what's going over." And so, we really need to look at things like that, and you really need to look at it for yourself also. And so Mike said, "Hey, I really need to try something. I'm in pain. I got a lot of stuff going on with my back. and he's been on Zilis ever since, and he's starting to get some relief, at least some normalcy, if you will, and what have you not. And we'll you know what, Mike, let's try and, if you want to talk about it, let's do an impromptu. Let me go ahead and let's see if I can share this link with you, man, and let's see what we got going on. Let's see here. Mike, I'm going to put this in the chat. Let me know when I'm going to put this. Go ahead and put this in the chat, and let me know if you get this. We'll do an impromptu. We'll get Mike on here. We'll do a veteran spotlight right here as we talk about this stuff. Real quick here. Let me go ahead and get this set up for Mike. Bear with us here. And I'm going to put this in the chat so he can see this. But anyway, as we're getting Mike set up here, like I was saying, Relief of Troops. We're here to show you a different avenue of taking care of yourself in a more natural. I say natural, but in a more natural way. And we can help you out doing that. You know, you can read about my story. I live off this stuff. I got all the stuff over there. I feel great every day. And, you know, it's one of those things where I decided to jump the gauntlet, but relieffortroops.com, info at Relief for Troops. Myself, Mark O'Donnell, will get a hold of you, and we will help you get where you should be, or at least get you on a path to get there. And then once Mike gets set up here, we can go ahead and talk about that. So, with that being said, I'm gonna pause on the veteran stuff. I'm gonna jump into some racing, right? It's gonna be a fun year. Okay, it's gonna be a very fun year. The Iceman is getting close. We're getting his body panels and stuff set up, and get ordered tomorrow. So we get Iceman's car going. I got word that my motor is done, so I got to raise some money to get it out, and then our hot rod will be ready to go. So, Mike, go ahead and copy that link right there, and put it in your browser, and follow the instructions of getting set up. We're going to do an impromptu veteran spotlight tonight. Mike's going to join us in the chat, so we're going to have him join us. So racing, yeah, motor's ready. We're going to get to probably end of next month. I should have it here, because nothing's free, right? So if anybody out there wants to help, let me know. We'll put your name on the card. But we're getting very close to having the 1X back out there. So if you look in the YouTube chat, you'll see that I put the StreamYard.com link in there. We're going to see if Mike can join us, guys. This is kind of an impromptu, or what have you not. But anyway, next. Let's see here. Hey, Mike, what's your email? We're trying to get Mike set up here. let's see here. Yeah. So for those that are joining us right now, uh, yours truly, Nitro is here. Rocco is off tonight, so one of our listeners that's very dedicated. He's a veteran also. Mike from MC Aquatics is going to join us. We're getting him set up here real quick to have him on. We're going to do a quick veteran spotlight. So, but the racing season. I want to say, as I touch on racing here real quick. There's local tracks that are shutting down. Okay, there's some tracks that are coming back, but there's a lot of tracks that are shutting down. That've been shut down. Okay, if you live near a dirt track or an asphalt track or a drag strip, okay, go out and support your local racing. If you're not into it, but you've never been, do yourself a favor and go try it out. Right? That is one of the things that keeps grassroots alive. Right? Is racing. You watch NASCAR on TV, you watch NHRA, IHRA, you got World of Outlaws. You have all this stuff on TV, but they all started grassroots. Okay, and anybody that watches NASCAR, grassroots. So I think I'm going to put the plug out there. Go to your local track. Okay, keep the track alive. Go have some fun. Support the drivers that come to put on a show for you, and get to a point where we aren't having all the closures like we see. And I'm being a racer. I've been on that road, right? We've been down that road of having track closures and things like that. Our local track closed for a little while. We were able to get it open again. It was quite amazing. So it's going to be good. The upcoming season is going to be a lot of fun. We're going to do some traveling. Hopefully soon we're going to have Mike Archuleta and his son Bryce on the podcast to talk about the upcoming season, talk about last season. A lot of big plans for the Archuleta family and racing coming up. Big driven sprint cars for a long time, and one of the best to do it. So we're hoping to have him on soon, and what have you not. Mike, are you seeing? What's your email, Mike? So yeah. So we're just trying to get Mike set up here. He's going to do a little impromptu, little veteran spotlight. If you're just joining us, so um, one of the big things that I have found that is growing on me is this Harley Davidson. This thing is a lot of fun to ride. I can't tell you how long I've always wanted a bike. I had a CBR 600 a long time ago, but I always wanted a Harley, and I really enjoy riding this bike. Um, my back couldn't take the leaning over on the Rice Rocket. I didn't have time to really switch bikes. I was still in the military, and I couldn't find anything else. And then for the longest time after I sold the bike, I didn't have anything. And then I finally bought a bike. I bought this Harley this past June, July, and absolutely love it. And I believe um, that the freedom, the uh, the open air really allows you to have a peace of mind when you're cruising down the road. So if you've never had a motorcycle and you want one, you should get one. It's a lot of fun. Expensive, right? Um, I stumbled across a website called Zero because I want to get some Ford pegs, I want to get some lights for it, and what have you not. And holy cow! You know how they have a list in there? It's called the Dream Sheet. I blew that Dream Sheet up, and I was like, oh, good lord, $1,700 later. I'm like, yeah, back around down, driver. I got some stuff to do, but if you're looking for something to, just go out and get your mind right, or take your girlfriend for a ride or whatever, get a Harley. Get a bagger, get a Sportster, get something where you two can ride. Maybe not a Sportster, but a cruiser of some sort, and just go and ride, right? And you'll find yourself really enjoying the air, the wind. Not fun when it's cold. It's not fun when it's cold. They do make cold weather gear. We went on a ride. We went on a ride to Austin a couple weekends ago. Well, actually, it's going to probably just about a month, maybe 3 weeks. 3 weeks ago or so, and it was 43 degrees. 43 degrees. Mm, mm, mm. It wasn't fun. Trust me, it wasn't fun. But we made it work, and uh, after my hands were frozen, I was able to get some gloves, and they have this cool thing now that well, they've had them for a while, but I actually got to see them up in person. Heated grips. Now let me tell you something. If you're living in the world of riding bikes and that's all you do, heated grips is a thing, man. And I'm absolutely, if I lived in the weather, I would have heated grips. So that's really cool, Mike. I just sent you an email, bud, and uh, put that link in your browser, and then follow the instructions. So we'll see if we can get Mike on here real quick. Tales from the Tank. Speaking of Harleys, right? As we're out and about at the American Legion on the bike, we're going to do a Tales from the Tank, Life Behind the Bars, showcasing our riders and events that we are at with riders and what have you not. One of the cool things that's really neat about being out with other riders and what have you not is the stories. The stories of people's bikes, how people got into it, where they came from. Those are very interesting things to learn while you're out riding on the bike. And just some of the people that you meet are just so down to earth, so really cool. They know everything there is about motorcycles. You can learn a lot from these guys, and just to be able to have them on and say, hey, you know what? We're going to bust you out on an episode of Tales from the Tank, Life Behind the Bars. And a lot of veterans, we're going to start doing it more. We haven't been out much because, obviously it's the winter time or what have you not, but it's coming up. So be on the lookout for short videos that we are going to post on Gearheads and Guardians, Tales from the Tank, Life Behind Bars, and really excited to be out meeting other riders, especially from the other American Legion posts out there. So again, while we wait for Mike, we're going to try to get him on here. We got about 20 minutes left. We talked about the thing with Glock. If you have a 308, they still make ammo. They are still out there. Nothing's being stopped except for Glock is not making the weapon no more. All right. I don't know about other weapons. I don't know about other companies, but uh, it's no more of a Glock thing. And with that, here's the thing about that too and I'm going to touch on that as I've kind of gone around the world. It's uh, kind of difficult doing this by yourself if you're not used to it. But I will say this: there are so many things that you have to think about when it comes to your protection, conceal carry, budget, maybe the size of your home, and things like that. Okay, bud. Yep, there you are.
Hey,
Ladies
sir.
and gentlemen, MC Aquatics, Mike Topman, welcome, Gearheads and Guardians. I know we've been trying to get you on for some time. We're just going to wing this one because, Rocco is handling stuff and got some family things going on. So I was fine slow, but glad you can come on aboard, man.
Oh, I told Rocco I can come up anytime you guys need.
Man, that's awesome. So, I was talking, obviously you saw I was talking about, the a little bit of weapons. We talked a little bit about Zilis tonight, kind of just giving a little brush over on what we got coming up with the American Legion. But uh, let's dive into. You've been a loyal watcher of our channel since we started, right?
Yep.
And a veteran yourself.
No.
And no, you're not.
No, my dad was.
Oh, your dad was. Okay, well, it's in the family. I'll count that. So I've been wrong this whole time, but your family is of veterans. So,
Yeah.
But you had some a really bad back injury.
To say the least, yeah.
What happened?
I was hurt at work. We'll put it and leave it at that.
Sure.
I'd actually had my back broken 3 places.
Wow.
And they waited almost a year before they done anything.
Right.
So, in that amount of time, it healed, but not correctly.
Right.
And then I've had, 15, 16 failed back surgeries.
Wow.
You've seen the picture of the X-ray.
Oh yeah.
My back looks like a railroad track.
Oh yeah. Yeah, there's some damage. It's almost like a grenade, went off in there, and it's in pieces. But it's really fascinating, though. We started you on Zilis ultrasound. How tell the viewers and because you can hear from us all day long, but tell us what your experience has been since you've been on ultrasound.
I don't have near as much excruciating pain as I did, and I'm able to get up and function more than I was.
Right.
I mean, I'm not completely cured, which I know that's never going to happen.
Sure.
But I am able to do more than I was.
Yeah, and it's really interesting because I want to get we're going to do we'll probably do testimony videos. We'll probably reach out to you to do a testimony video because those are the things that we need people to hear. Right? Everybody has a different ailment. You know what I mean? And when we talk about Zilis and we talk about what ultrasound CBD does to the body, people think that, well, it doesn't do for me as it's going to do for you because I have this ailment compared to your ailment over here. And that's not true, right? The human body reacts the way everybody reacts the same. Let's say that. So ultrasound does the same to the human body as it does everybody. But your ailment is in your back. Mine is too, but nowhere near the extent yours. Other people might have an ailment where they can't sleep, right?
Yeah, and I have that too.
Yeah. So to hear that it's actually put you in a positive light in your life is very and remember, I tell everybody all the time, and I'm sure you have too. And if you're listening out there, listen. There's no miracle cure that this is that this there's no This is not a pill where you take the pill and all of a sudden, boom, you have a euphoria where all the pain's gone. You know what I mean? And then it comes back, and it because there's nothing in this that does that to you. You have to take time to let your body react to it the way your body's going to react to it, the best that your body is, because it has to adapt. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, it's not going to happen immediately. It's, it took a good 3, maybe 4 months before it really started having effect.
That is, Mike, I was talking to one of our veterans, and this is the normal, the normal question I get after about a week and a half or so. When am I going to feel something? Right? When am I going to feel a change or difference? I was on it for 3.5 months, and it almost took me 3.5 months for me to realize that my body didn't hurt.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You don't feel anything. It works on your body, but see, this is not. People think that it just. Is it supposed to go in and like a pill? You know this. You were on painkiller after painkiller after painkiller, right? You take it, it does what it does, but all it does is just make you feel less in your head, right?
But yeah,
And
most of your painkillers are designed to be for musculoskeletal anyway, and not
Mhm.
like in my case, it's a nerve.
Correct.
All nerve damage.
Correct. And the fact that it's actually helped you in that's amazing. Like, your story has always been amazing. Hey, Ariel, how you doing? Yeah, we play musical chairs now. Rocco's off. Big Mike is taking the role tonight. We got him on here a little bit late, but you're absolutely correct. If you had if you had to tell anybody or explain it to anybody in your words about Zilis, Adele, what did I call you, Ariel? Why am I? What is up with the Little Mermaid shit? I don't know. My apologies, Adele. Listen, I'm old. I get this thing don't work all the time up here, so it is what it is, right? In your words, if someone were to ask you, "Hey, Mike, we hear Rocco and Natural talk about this stuff." Okay, I see you. What would you say to someone if they came to you with your ailments, knowing your issues, knowing what you've been through? How would you, or what would you tell them if they were one of those? Does it? When is it going to work, does this stuff really even work?
I've actually got another friend who has an injury similar to mine. He has AS, the ankyloid spondylosis, which I have
Yes.
too. Mine's a little more advanced than his. He's had 4 or 5 failed back surgeries in the cage.
Wow.
And I told him about Zilis. And told him, I said, don't be thinking it's like, smoking a joint. You're going to have the high and all that, because it don't work that way.
Right.
And he was worried about his job. It's not going to show up, you're not going to pop, they pop a UA on you. It's not going to give you a dirty reading.
Correct.
I said, but when you take it like it tells you to take it and give it time.
Yep.
It's not going to be an instant cure over, it's not going to work overnight. You got to give it time. And you will notice a little at a time that you're feeling different. You're feeling better. And it's actually worked quite a bit for him too.
That's awesome.
Now,
That's really awesome.
I'm not off all the medication,
Right.
but I'm off most of it.
Nice. Well, remind me to get you my at Relief for Troops. That way, you guys can see my landing page or the charity's landing page for anybody.
I've got it.
Oh, you got it. Awesome.
Yeah, I've
and the
got
reason
it.
why
Rocco gave it to me.
nice. Here's and Adele just said, she goes to the gym. I can't wait to get back in the gym as soon as things slow down at the shop. I'm going to, but she pretty much has to make everything hurt to drown everything out. There's still, and I'm going to address Adele with this, Mike, and maybe you can kind of help me vouch for this. But Adele, you actually have to understand what's going on with your body, and you know that if you're on a lot of meds, right? I don't know, Adele, I don't know what you're on, but I will tell you that we need to find a way to get you a bottle of Ultracell. Okay.
Yeah, her being in Australia.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we need to find a way. We need to find a way for you to get a bottle of Ultracell so that you can see.
It would help her.
Absolutely. And you can take it from Mike. You don't have to take it from me. I preach stuff because I live off the stuff too. I take 3 different things over there. I take the ice, the R&R, and I take Ultra Vibe. So
it would definitely help her.
So
I've been referring a few local vets here that have severe PTSD.
And yeah. So we have this thing, real quick, Mike, before I didn't mean to cut you off, but Adele, we have this thing. I take R&R, Ultra R&R. Okay, I'm going to put it in the chat. I want you to take a look at it. Okay, obviously it's all non-THC. Okay, but it's Ultra R&R. Okay, I take that at night. And the reason why I do is because it helps me sleep. It also helps me with my, yes, it's called Ultra R&R. And what it does is it's got the cannabinoid CBN, cannabinol. And what it does is when your body, and Dr. Todd talked about this on our podcast when we had him, he talked about when the brain goes into a sleep, okay, your brain tries to clear everything out and clean itself out. What that does is it fires, right? And sometimes people that have more things firing when they're sleeping and they can't sleep, the cannabinol actually calms that all down so that your body can repair itself and the CBD gets in your system and starts working in your deep sleep cycle. And let me tell you something. If you take Ambien, you're off of it. This stuff, I'm off my Ambien because of this stuff. Stuff's absolutely amazing. And if you don't want the R&R, it's not THC. We have Ultra Dream. Works a little bit different, helps you go to sleep. So go to, here, watch this, Zilis.com. I'm going to put this in the chat. See if you can check it out. Hair products and building materials. Yeah, you're building a good night's sleep. That's what this stuff does.
We might have to get her the link to the actual website, Drew.
Yeah, I just sent her the website, Zilis.com. But back to you real quick, Mike. And a lot of people ask about sleep, like everybody does, right? How did your sleep change when you started with Ultracell?
I notice over time I've started sleeping more.
Sure.
Through the night? A deeper sleep through the night.
Right.
I wouldn't wake up in the middle of the night in so much pain I couldn't hardly move.
Isn't it great? Isn't it great to just be able to lay in there for a little bit longer? Get some more time in.
Except with all this snow and ice we're getting now.
Right. Well,
my arthritis doesn't seem to bother me near as bad either.
if anybody that wants to go back and read this, I know this pod tonight's kind of been kind of all over the place because I kind of touch on a lot of things. Um, but going back to Zilis and having you on, Mike, that's pretty powerful to know that what it's done for you is really, really, it's really amazing, to be honest with you. With the extent of your injuries and the extent of what your back looks like, I that's really good.
My doctors can't even understand how I'm still walking.
Did you tell them?
Yeah.
Wow.
I was telling my doctor about it before I started taking it. He just said, if it works, try it.
Sure.
And now he's a believer in it too.
Really?
And
well, maybe we can get him on the show and we can talk about, what, and answer his questions or whatever. And see, that's the thing too, right? Testimony is so powerful. You know what I mean? Testimony is very, very powerful about what we do as a charity and helping people like you, helping veterans, helping people like Adele. Everybody's got a different thing, but if you find this to help you make your way of life more bearable, take the edge off and make it where you can do things and what have you now, the word of the mouth, the testimony, exactly, the word of the mouth is the way to go, because people don't want to hear stats. They don't want to hear numbers, and they don't want to hear all this. They want to go, what did Mike Tolman find out about Ultracell? What did Adele find out? What did Rocco find out? What has it done for them? And when people start talking, they find out that this person has the same problem that I got. Well, if it worked for you, it's surely going to work for me. And that effect on people when you hear, especially if you're reputable, and I don't know about you, Mike, but I'm a person that does not promote something that I don't use.
I don't either.
You know what I mean? Yeah, you're absolutely right. It does the snowball effect. It's not networking in a pyramid way. It's networking to take care of other people. Think about them. I said this. I don't know if you caught this last time when we were talking with my doctor, and if I've said it before, but I've saved the VA over $9.8 million in medicine just because of ultrasound.
Oh, yeah.
Think about people that don't have the insurance to cover things like that. If I didn't have the VA, I'd be dead. I can't afford that.
The one medication I'm still on, which I'll be on the rest of my life, is $5,000 a month.
That's crazy.
The other one I was on was $3,800 a month.
Wow.
I'm no longer on it.
That's awesome. And you don't have the side effects anymore either.
No.
Yeah, Adele, I'm glad you remember that. And that's, she's, we were talking about it. How crazy is it? I mean, you just heard, Mike, 5,000 a month. I mean, I get it because I was on chemo and that was about 20 grand a month. It was insane. But the what Zilis has done for me in the small picture is right here. What it's done for my life, what it's done for you, Mike, what it's done for other people. But if you actually step back for a minute, if you're a budget officer for a company that or for some sort of a budget person dealing with having to pay for things like this, could you imagine how much money we could save on something that's just this natural?
Easily.
You know what I mean? And so, but Adele, it can work for you. See, here's the thing: it can work for you, and we need to find a way to get you some ultrasound. Mike has a back that looks like I can't even describe it. And the fact that he's up, being able to walk around, ease some pain, be able to go do some things because of one dropper a day, that's absolutely amazing.
I think I've sent the copy of the picture of it to Adele.
Oh, I've seen it. I've seen it.
I think I've seen. I think Adele. I think I've sent it to her too.
Yeah. Well, I think it's absolutely amazing, Mike. Next week, we'll be back with a more structured podcast. I just kind of came on to tonight, kind of solo to talk a few things. Like we were saying, Glock, they're not producing the 308 anymore. They decided that they weren't selling enough, and and then the Magna mount tech tip, which is what I'm going to end with tonight. So there's a company called Freedom, and I'll get the name, and they make magnetic gun mounts. And I think that absolutely it is nice to hear about Mike. He's getting up and about. It really is an amazing thing. The Magna mount is really awesome because you can mount it anywhere, at any upside down, facing forward, facing backwards. It doesn't matter. If you have a concealed carry, you have a handgun in your house, or if you have a weapon in your house that is of the pistol with a slide on top, I will put in the link the company that I found that has the Magna mounts. I put one in my truck, so when I go to drive around, I slide my weapon in there. You can rack your weapon, and you can pull it out. The magnet's that strong. The ease of it and the accessibility to have your weapon in your hand real quickly without having to worry about a holster and a safe and all this other stuff is absolutely amazing. Magnetic gun mounts, there's multiple of them out there, but if you're looking for a surefire way to have an easy access to mount your weapon anywhere in your house, in your vehicle, magnetic mounts are the way to go. So with that being said, kind of a collage podcast tonight. We talked about a few things. We brought on Mike from MC Aquatics to give us his short testimony about what's going on with him and Ultracell and his back. Mike, I'm really glad that we were able to get you on. I have your email now. The next time down the road we can have you on, we'll go ahead and bust a move and get you on there. So I appreciate your time coming on tonight, man.
Hey, whenever you guys need Drew, just let me know.
That's awesome. Yeah, many segues. Hey, look, sometimes what you just saw tonight was my mind wanting to talk about a lot of things in a short amount of time. Right? It's kind of weird doing a podcast by yourself. It's rare. I've only done one or two by myself, and it's kind of like, you got to talk to people and I'm just like I'm like a squirrel sometimes, and my mind's got so much it wants to say, but I gotta, it's kind of a learning thing. But we did touch some things tonight, some important stuff like concealed carry. Mike, we talked. I went ahead and touched on the USCCA. I think it's very important that people cover themselves if they are concealed carry, if they have open carry, and what have you not. I think it's very important to have those lawyers there. And we talked about, obviously, Zilis. It's one of the big things that we do. Reach out to us at relieffortroops.com or email us at info@relieffortroops, gearheads and guardians at gmail.com. If you got anything that you need help with, if you feel like you want to hurt yourself, dial 988. It works. Option 1, send us an email, reach out to us. We are here to help you. There's other people that watch the podcast that you can get a hold of that can help you. It's what we're here for. This is why we do this. Next week, Rocco will be back with me to talk about whatever it is that we're going to talk about. Sometimes we wing it, sometimes we ding it. You never know what's going to come out of this one. But Mike, I appreciate it. Oh. Well, I know what you missed. What's going on with the car news? Well, I talked about it a little bit, Adele. Real quick, my motor is done. However, they had to fix a lot of things. And the more things they fix, the more dollar signs that come up. So it is complete. It's ready to be put in the car. Hopefully we don't have any issues. I just have to wait for Uncle Sam to give me my nickels and dimes so I can take care of that. We need about $3,500 to get the motor out of the shop. I've never had a shop build my motor. I've always built my own, but that small potatoes compared to what the big guys run, they're about $55,000 for a motor to go run with the big boys. So 3,500 ain't all of that. So and the car is ready to go. I'm building the trailer right now. I'm working on trying to get it built because I had to. Late models are a wide car, so I had to build some ramp overs on my trailer, and I decided to enclose it so I can have some AC in this heat. So, but shouldn't take too much longer. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. Yeah, 3,000 isn't bad at all. It really isn't. It is when you don't have it. It's not bad for going out there and like I always say, racing's cheap, winning's expensive. So I always say that. But outside of that, that's your car news. Next week, I'll be announcing at the local track here where we race. We're going to have the sprint cars out there. It's the first time ever that they've had sprint cars on our track, and I'm going to go help announce on that. So I'm looking forward to that. And my buddy over in New Mexico, him and his son got their race cars ready to go. I'll send up some pictures. They're on my Facebook. They're ready to go racing. So I'm the only one lacking over here. But we'll be there. We're going to have a lot of videos and a lot of updating when the race season starts. So it's going to be a good time to keep your eyes out for that. So, Mike, I appreciate it. Adele, thank you for reaching out and spending some time with us tonight. Next week, Rock will be back with yours truly. I'm sure we're going to have a cool topic to talk about. But with that being said, Mike, take care of yourself. Make sure you keep up with us. Let us know if you need anything. Adele, you too. And we will catch you guys on the flip side.